So OpenAI's new model, GPT 5.5, is officially here. And this feels like more than just an update. It feels like a fundamental shift in how we should think about AI. We're talking about moving beyond a smart assistant that just answers our questions to an autonomous agent that can actually do the work. Let's really break down what that means. For the longest time, we've used AI to answer things, right? To write drafts for us, to brainstorm ideas. But what if it could actually do the work itself? And I don't mean just one little step. I mean the entire project from start to finish. That's the core problem that GPT 5.5 is really built to solve. You can think of the older models like a brilliant intern. I mean, they're incredibly smart, fantastic at any specific task you give them, but you had to manage them every single step of the way. You couldn't just hand over a complex project and walk away, right? They were always reactive, just waiting for your next instruction. And this is where GPT 5.5 makes what people are calling the Agentic Leap. It really represents a whole new class of AI, one that's designed to move beyond simply responding and start executing on complex goals all by itself. So, what is this buzzword, Agentic AI? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's an AI that can take on a complex, messy task on its own. It can plan what to do, use different tools, check its own work, and just keep going until the project is done, all with way less hand-holding from us. This is the real difference between an assistant you have to manage and a collaborator you just direct. This quote from Databricks just nails it perfectly. Instead of managing every little step, you can give it a messy task and actually trust it to figure it out and keep going. Suddenly, you're not the micromanager anymore. You're more like the architect. You set the goal, and the AI figures out the how. So what does this look like in practice? Well, we're talking about an AI that can write and debug its own code, go out and research things online, operate software, and literally jump between different tools to get a job done. It's not just a single tool, it's like a whole toolkit for an entire workflow. Okay, so that's the claim. But where's the proof of this big leap? Well, the first major area is in coding and development, where GPT 5.5 is showing what OpenAI is calling dominance on the terminal. And the key proving ground for these new skills is a benchmark called Terminal Bench 2.0. Now, this isn't about writing little snippets of code. This thing is designed to test an AI's ability to handle the messy, multi-step workflows that a real developer deals with every single day. And wow, the results on this benchmark are something else. GPT 5.5 scores a massive 82.7%. That's a huge jump from GPT 5.4, and it leaves its main competitor, Claude Opus, way behind. I mean, this is the kind of performance leap that makes the entire industry sit up and pay attention. And here's the crucial point. We've moved past just testing simple code snippets. A score like this represents the ability to handle entire engineering workflows, debugging, refactoring, solving problems across a huge codebase. For developers, this is an absolute game changer. But it's not just about code. Not at all. The second area of proof is in its advanced capabilities for really complex reasoning, for knowledge work, and even for scientific research. Get this, when they tested it on complex business tasks, working across different documents and spreadsheets in a benchmark called Office QA Pro, GPT 5.5 made 46% fewer errors than its predecessor. That shows these gains aren't just theoretical, they translate directly into better performance on real-world office work. And when you throw the absolute hardest math problems at it, the kind you find in the Frontier Math benchmark, GPT 5.5 opens up a massive 12.5-point lead over its main rival. We're not just talking about calculation here. This is about genuine, high-level problem solving. So if we zoom out and look at a whole range of these reasoning benchmarks, the story is pretty clear. GPT 5.5 takes a commanding lead in really tough areas like Frontier Math and ArcAGI. What's interesting, though, is that its competitor, Claude Opus, still has a tiny edge on GPQA Diamond, which is basically a set of grad school-level questions. It just goes to show you the competition is still incredibly fierce, but GPT 5.5 has definitely established itself as a top dog in advanced reasoning. And to ground all these numbers in reality, OpenAI reports that GPT 5.5 has already been used to contribute to a new mathematical proof about something called Ramsey numbers. Think about that. This is AI moving from just passing tests to actively taking part in real scientific discovery. So we've seen the leap in capability, we've seen the dominance on the benchmarks, but what does this shift from assistant to agent actually mean for us? This, right here, is the heart of the story. We are moving from an AI that just responds to our prompts to one that executes on our goals. We're going from a tool that you have to constantly manage to a collaborator that you can direct from a high level. That is the fundamental shift. Now, let's talk about the practical side for a second. This new capability, well, it comes at a higher price. API costs have roughly doubled, but OpenAI claims the model is also more token efficient, especially for coding. This basically means it needs fewer instructions or tokens to get the same amount of work done. So the final cost could balance out depending on what you're using it for. And that leaves us with a final and, I think, crucial question. As AI makes this transition from a tool we operate to an agent we collaborate with, our role has to change too. The key skill isn't just about writing the perfect prompt anymore, it's about becoming a better architect of outcomes. How do we design the right goals and the right vision for these powerful new agents to pursue? Definitely something to think about.